Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Too Funny Feedback Mike. My name is Lisa, and co hosting the show with me tonight, as always, is Becca. Tonight, each of our comedians will be performing a 5-minute set. If you want to keep track of how much time left, just switch to gallery view and look at Sad Clock. After your set, Becca and I will be giving about 5 minutes of feedback before moving on to the next comedian. Becca's feedback will focus on writing, while my notes will focus more on performance and delivery. While we invite discussion during your allotted time, if we don't have time to address your concerns, just reach out and we'll be happy to go into more depth. To our audience, keep in mind as we get started that our intention is to help facilitate the growth of the comedians who come to us with varying levels of experience. Also, comedy is subjective, so you may not agree with us, and that is okay. We are also learning on how to give good feedback. Additionally, if you enjoy the show and if you want to support the stream, please consider making a donation of any size or follow us by visiting districtcomedy.io. With that, let's get this party started. Please welcome our first comedian of the evening, Amir Abu Al-Sad.
Woo!
Yeah,
All right. How is everyone?
Great.
good.
Yeah. So my therapist told me to ask, but I don't care. I've been working on caring, but I haven't mastered it yet. I mean, I've seen this therapist for 7 years. Maybe I should see someone else. I think I should see other people. So I was talking to this Moroccan guy, and we were supposed to have a date last Thursday, and he stood me up, and he didn't even cancel or anything. Just like, well, he was supposed to meet me at my house, so I was just in my pajamas. I think I was like on a Zoom call. So anyway, so I like posted a story on Friday on my Instagram, and then he messaged, "Hey." And I'm like, were you waiting for me to post a story? Like, you could have messaged me before that comment. And then like, I kind of ignored him. I was like, no, I'm done. I deserve better. And then the next day I was like, hey, I don't think it's going to work out. You know, you stood me up and you didn't apologize. And then he was just like, oh, I tried to message you here and you didn't answer. And I was like, I didn't get a message and you didn't apologize. And he's like, okay, I'm sorry. Can we move forward? I was like, I don't know. I need some chocolate to move forward faster, you know? He's like, well, what type of chocolate? And I was like, milk chocolate with caramel. I didn't hear back from him until I posted another story. And then he was like, hey, are you okay? You're not answering. And I see that you read my messages. And I was like, yes, I'm okay. But now I have self-esteem. Until I talked to my mom. And she was like, oh, how's it going with that Moroccan guy? And I'm like, I deserve better. I'm not talking to him anymore. And I was like, don't you think I deserve better? And she's like, no. She's like, well, yeah, but like no one else is coming, so you should call him. And the only reason she knows about him is because my sister was talking to her and forgot to hang up, and she just stayed on the phone. And I was talking to my sister and my dad about this guy, and then like in the middle of it, she was just like, oh, you should call him anyways. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing on the phone for 20 minutes? Just like listening in. And she's like, well, I wanted to hear your sweet voice. So I talked to her, and then she was like, is there anything else you want to tell me? And I'm like, well, I didn't want to tell you what you heard, so no. So we'll see what happens with me in the Moroccan, because my self-esteem might go lower. I think I have COVID, so I might just, as revenge, give it to him. I don't know. But we'll see. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's not funny. Okay. So my dad actually has, I think he has COVID because he lost his sense of smell and taste. And then like I still can smell and taste things, and I feel like I wanted that because his food tastes really bad and he always farts. It smells so bad in this house. But he wishes his symptoms were like loss of hearing, so he doesn't have to hear my annoying voice anymore. Especially now I'm a little bit more nasally. All right. So I keep pretending I have pain in my teeth so I can see my hot dentist. because I love it when guys caress my face. Um, but don't expect anything else. He also has like a really hot assistant. I'm not sure if he's gay or not, but he's still hot. I don't care. Um, like he'll be like, so I see another dentist on the side to make sure my teeth are perfect. And then he's like, wow, don't you wish all your clients are like Amira? Like you don't have to do anything. Like, cause I was there for a cleaning. He's like, her teeth are already clean. I'm like, oh my God, that's so nice. And he's like, except for this thing in your mouth. What is this? And I was like, oh, that's my number. Call me anytime. I actually went out today to go food shopping, and I saw this like hot guy like running with his dog, and I like for some reason I wrote down what time and place I saw him. Like he's an endangered species. I told my sister the story, and she's like, "Yeah, he's running away from you." Like, so when you're Muslim, your favorite dating app is the No Fly List. Thank you.
Woo!
Nice. Woo! Give it up for Amira. Yes. And we're just gonna make it's the Amira show now. So woohoo!
Amira feedback mic.
Yes. Rebecca, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd love
Right.
to. Amira, this was really, really fun. Just like it's a lot of new material. You felt very conversational tonight, as opposed to like kind of like your usual tone of just like setting like you just like a quick setup and a punchline. And I'm not saying like one is better than the other. It's just like it was a different style tonight, and it was a lot of fun. I also love just like how much you left with yourself. It felt very conversational, telling the story of your mom, listening in and chiming in. So I just kind of wanted to celebrate this new material that you're kind of bringing us tonight. I had a couple of ideas, take them or leave them. I think the therapist setup, it was really strong last week. I think this one, it felt a little bit more a little bit more clunky to get to the punchline. I mean, like I've heard the joke in a different structure a bunch of times already, so I know where you were trying to get to. But I'm thinking if there was like a different way you could phrase like, "How's everybody doing?" Because my therapist wants to know, or say, or I'm just like, I'm only asking because my therapist told me to. Something that like can explain it all in one sentence, maybe. But I do love the idea of introducing your therapist into this joke that has been so successful for you for really long. So just a suggestion in there.
So just shorten it. Don't say the like I haven't mastered it, the caring and all that. We're working on the caring.
No, I think that you could. I think you could still go in that, but I think that if you could just get the punchline in the very first line, kind of like how you originally had it, like I don't care, this is about me. It was like one quick thing. I think what had been before, and if you look at the recording, because I don't remember what it was verbatim, I think it was like a little bit of a setup, and then you had the punchline. But if you have the punchline right in one sentence, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the other thing I loved your thing of like when with the guy of like, can we just move forward? And you're like, if you get me chocolate, it'll help me move forward a lot faster. I thought that was so funny. And then I love that you got even more specific. I would encourage you to go even more specific of naming a chocolate brand and how much it costs at the store and if it's on sale right now. But I mean, just like if you could just like list of like get even more specific with it. I think that could help even maybe strengthen it even more than it already is. I wanted to point out with the guy was like, why aren't you talking to me? And you're like, I have self-esteem now until I talk to my mom. And I just wanted to, you already started to do it. I just kind of wanted to like flag it for you of just like, if you could own, I have self-esteem now as a punchline all on its own that gets a laugh. And then you say, but then I talked to my mom, and that's a whole separate one. And I think that you were starting to go there. I think that you could just kind of clarify those two beats just a little bit more. I know that's going into performance realm, but I thought that why are you talking to me? And you're like, because I have self-esteem now. And I thought that was really funny. I would love for like the space to get the laugh that it deserves. But that's what I wrote down. This was a really fun new set. It was like cool just like seeing you kind of in a new like conversational tone. So great work today.
I had a question. So with the I said maybe I'll see him again if I want to give him COVID and get revenge. Was that not funny because we're still in the pandemic and people don't like it?
I mean,
Maybe wait 5 years.
I think you did a good job with realizing that maybe, like, I thought, and it was a note I had about how you felt that, oh, maybe that didn't land, but like, oh no, I'm not gonna do, like, not fun, like that you made a joke of saying, well, that's not funny, like so there was a joke within a joke, and I think that you're aware of that. I think that makes a difference. I mean, it's sort of, we have to laugh at it, the stuff that's happening with COVID. And I think that there's the whole premise of like giving someone COVID revenge, revenge, giving them COVID. It's just the phrasing. And I think when you was it, no, I'm not going to, I guess that's not funny. Like you covered that. If you feel that it's not being receptive of the audience, some audiences might actually, some people might think that was funny. So it's sort of, I think, reading the room, but also being aware of what effect you want that joke to have. Does that make sense? And where you place it in your set.
And if I still sound sick on stage, they won't like that.
Like, you could be like,
And you
sorry, not
cough
funny.
on the audience.
Oh,
Yep.
shit. Yeah, like I don't know. There's gold in there somewhere, but just knowing that you may not have, it could be icy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are people who've lost people from COVID. So, and they're going to be out in the audience too. And there's people's sense of humor about COVID is of varying degrees. Let's just say that. So I think it's more of knowing your audience and knowing the effect you want to have with that. But I always think one of your strengths is how you, if something doesn't land the way you want, like anticipate, or maybe think it should or something, you're so good at being like, joke, like you have these great little like ways to divert it and make it funny. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're good at like catching it. Oh, it's funny to me, cat. I feel like that's how that works. I'm sorry, Rebecca. I did cut you off when she was asking you to, but
no. I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I think that like I think it's kind of I find it a little harmless of like, you can be a little sassy, like a little bitchy about somebody who's just like, fine, I'll give them COVID, whatever. I think that like you can like have that vibe to it. And I definitely agree with what Lisa said of just like read the room. If they don't laugh, you do a great, that's like one of your strongest like comedic qualities. It's just like these little like under your breath asides that can, if it doesn't land, you can save it. So yeah.
But also he's vaccinated, so maybe I can say like he's vaccinated, it's harmless, and he just had it like 2 weeks ago in Morocco. He had it, so he'll heal. Like he'll be fine.
You can be like, I was vaccinated, rat spoiled. Like have to think some other way to But yeah, I think that's a really good question to ask, like, and to think of it that way, especially with like, there's a lot of sensitive subjects, but like, I do think COVID can go many ways. So I want to say I agree pretty much everything that Rebecca touched on. I gotta say, I was like, we're hive minding here, right? Like it was just really good. It was a really good pacing. I really liked that. I felt that I liked actually hearing about your mom, because I've heard, not that I don't think your dad seems to be comedic gold, but I love that you were actually, I was like, her mom, that's so nice. Sorry, you don't have self-esteem because of her, but it's nice to know she's around. So I thought, but I wrote down like, yes, I am okay, but I have self-esteem now, and I wrote nice pacing, because then you added until I had my, talk to my mom, which I think Rebecca did a great job of explaining how you just like give it that beat and then add that second beat, so it's like a double punch, sort of good and wonderful. I did have a couple ideas, and I thought at the so I'm going to get a little specific, like, I'm going to go in some writing stuff too. Sorry, Becca. But
allow it.
I love the chocolate thing. And I wrote down too, like milk. I love you like milk chocolate with caramel. Like you can be like, get really specific with like the Belgian ones, like the rack and the surf. They're at Walgreens at $4.99. But if you really care about me, you can go, it's a little bit more expensive. Like you could make like it a long joke or make it more succinct, but something that's very like, you've been thinking about these chocolates and he's going to get me those. Like you can get. So I think as long as it's like succinct and doesn't go on too long, but making it very specific, like chocolate, maybe this chocolate. Oh, this very specific chocolate, and this is how you get to it.
Oh, if I could jump in real quick, of like
Mhm.
if you wanted to like really go down like all these like different specific things, you could like relate to like if you get me this kind, this is how fast we can move forward. If you give me this kind, we'll move forward at like lightning pace.
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
just an
yeah.
idea.
That's like varying degrees. Like
Like, I'll
this
forgive you in
chocolate.
an hour. I'll forgive you in
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
yeah.
How fast do you
Hershey's
want us
a
to move?
month. Those
Yeah.
Belgian chocolates. I'll see you tomorrow. Like I don't know, but things like that. There's some fun stuff to play with there. Also, when you were like saying you were on a Zoom call,
Mhm.
so always makes me think you're like I was in my PJs. You could be like I was in a like a bustier on top and pajama bottoms. Like how we do the Zoom call thing where everyone's like. I just thought that was another cute you could talk about. You said I was in my PJs. Well, Zoom call. So because that's that joke of I'm wearing one thing on the top and then maybe nothing on the bottom. Who knows? But if you wanted, I liked what was this? So the mom thing. I just really liked how the dentist piece was fun to me. And I really like what Rebecca was hitting on was the conversational part. You had a really good pacing, especially with the like, what's that in your mouth? And you're like, my number, call me whatever. Like, I really love that energy. And like you even did a thing with your hand, like, hey, like it was like fully executed in your whole body when this and but it was really nice. I didn't expect you to deliver it that way, if that makes sense. Like I was like, oh, that's very clever. Um, but I thought that whole, to me, in some ways, that was some of my favorite part of your set tonight because it was so just conversational. And we're on a story with you, yet you found little ways to like vary the energy and the pacing in a way that made sense. We were with you, and then in the end, that whole like you can call me anytime. Like, I thought that was great. One thing about just the segue, if you went from like I think it was like about one guy or for the Moroccan and going back into that. And then like you went into your dentist, you can be like, speaking of other men in my life, you could just a one little thing to tie it up. I do also love the whole caressing. I like men who caress my face without
Oh
expecting
my
to.
God.
That was great.
You said you love men caressing your face and your teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I think that there's a lot of possibilities. I love men who knows how to use tools in my mouth. Like I don't know, something there's just stuff.
So I used to have the joke as like a one-liner, like I love going to the dentist because I love when a guy caresses my face and doesn't expect anything else. But then I just came up with a new joke about going like pretending I have pain in my teeth and going there a lot. And then this guy suggested, oh, like you can have like your number in your mouth. And then I thought of like seeing another dentist on the side to make my teeth look perfect for him.
I like that. You're
um,
like, I have a side piece, a side dentist. Like,
yeah. And then when I went, the usually the hygienist is a woman, but this time it was a guy. So I was like, he was kind of cute. I mean, I couldn't really tell because like the three masks, but like, like they wear two and then the face shield. Like, so I was like, his eyes were nice. Yeah. So I don't know if it's
His
better.
immune system is solid.
Sorry, what?
I just made a dumb joke of like, I bet his immune system's really like sexy and just having all that.
but I'm realizing how much of like going to the dentist can be very like sexual. Like you lay down on the leather chair, you recline. You're like, there's all these things. Sorry, just another. But I think that you were really good. All to say that was a really nice section and segment. I thought that it had really good pacing and fun. And there are places to play with it, but I think it's pretty solid in general too. Like if you want, but I love that I think we touched on this last week too, is that you're always looking at a joke again and again and figuring out different ways. How do you edit it down to get the most impact at the same time? You're always like reinventing. I love that you're kind of never done. Like you never think like, oh, cut print, like there's always a way, and it's always influenced when even jokes that you've done over are always influenced in the placement and how they connect to the other ones a lot of times. So I think that's a real strength. So I really enjoyed that. And I thought also the impression you did of your mom and that pacing was great. So yeah, I feel like it's Sad Clock is talking to us. And he's saying, okay, you can no, no, but it's fine. No, Sad Clock. You're allowed to talk to us. Sad Clock. Thank you. Um, No, you're any now I feel like it's like, Amir, really, do you have any questions or anything you want to work on or something? You know, because
Um,
it's basically thank you for showing up.
so I know there's a lot of jokes like you guys just one of I forgot already, but one of you guys said I think it was Rebecca about the tool in my mouth or something, right?
Oh, that was Lisa.
That was me.
All right, see, I already forgot. But like when I do mics with a lot of guys and it's a feedback mic, a lot of them are like, "Oh, let's make it really sexual." Like that's like on the top of it, but like they'll get really into it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Okay, thank you," but like
I get
I
that.
have some sexual jokes, but I'm like, not that like graphic with my jokes.
Sure.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think I try to like fit in with people sometimes. I'm like, I want to do a dirty joke too. But then I'm like, but I also don't want to like have anybody like if I have a really great set and one of them's dirty and then like I kind of want to post the whole like show or set. I'm
Mm.
kind of concerned about like like maybe someone that knows my dad or something is like, she's doing this, she's dishonoring your whole family. Did you know she did this? And it's like, it's a joke. Maybe I didn't do it. Hello, like. So I don't know about that,
That's a
but
fair point. Like I think about like and that's reading. I feel like reading the audience is a really good then strength of yours if you're talking about reading the room and being like, do I feed into this energy? Do I not? Does it serve me? Is that what I want to put out there?
Yeah.
So because I talk about, and I'm gonna bring it up now, POV point of view is that or that thinking of it as a whole, like what's out there is really important and how you want to be represented in that way of like what comedy you want to be put out there for. So I think that I really feel it's obviously a personal choice, but don't feel like you have to put some make it dirtier than it is. You're really clever
mhm.
at talking about situations that could go more blue, like they could be dirty, lower hanging fruit, and you don't. And I do like that about you. But I'm saying there's a lot of different ways to go with that. So I love that you're aware of that, and that's something that is important to you.
I think something that you could also explore, because I like 100% like feel you on that of just like you don't want to like open up that kind of like sexuality to a bunch of like strangers just to like watch over and over and over again. So I feel I feel you on that. But like if you like do see something that like could go down like the dirty realm, something that like I've kind of like played with in the past is like making it obviously so fake and like kind of like the joke that I put out where it's just like I love when men caress my face and my teeth. Obviously, I don't like when people touch uh touch my teeth, but like it so like it's just making it obvious that that's really not a thing. But if you sell it like it's your thing, and so like thinking of like you could if you wanted it to be like a weird sex thing instead of saying like I love it when men put tools in my mouth, you could say like I love when men shove their hands in my mouth. Or something that is just so like it you can say
Yeah.
it in a sexual way, but it's obviously not a kink. I mean, maybe it's somebody's kink, but it's not a mainstream kink.
Like
Um,
tiny mirrors turn me on. Like there's like little tiny mirrors that they put like so if you get more specific with it, I love that. That then it
yeah.
Oh, like
becomes
say, I
more
love it when they put tools in my mouth,
absurd.
like that little mirror and like the
I
scratchy
have a,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
Show me
I
all
have
my cavities, baby.
yeah. I
Yeah.
have a thing for tiny mirrors, you know?
So I think that it's just like if you go down the dirty route, just make it like obviously weird and goofy. If that's something that like
Yeah.
would make you kind of go that's how I feel comfortable going down that realm. And so I don't know if that would like give you any like comfort going down into that area as well.
so
Uh,
there's a dirty joke I was thinking about, but I haven't done it yet. It's like something like my friend was dating this Indian guy, and he went down on her, and she said, how did it taste or something, and he was like, oh, it's spicy, and he said, I'm not doing that again, and I was like, I thought Indian men liked spicy. Something like that, but like
Right.
I don't know how to like I don't think you need to clean it up, but like I guess it's fine how it is. But I just didn't feel comfortable saying it, I guess, in the beginning.
I mean, I think no matter what happens is you should feel good about what you're like as long as it feels authentic to you. If it doesn't feel like and I feel like maybe that's for the guys of most if it doesn't feel like it's truly from your gut and what you want to put out there, then I would think about then why, and maybe leaving it aside. And then if there are special places like this, or not, like if it's not recorded, or little plate like other ways to environments that you'd feel safe doing that and seeing how that lands and how you feel about it, I would maybe suggest that. But like, I think everything has to be truly authentic to you.
I think something that you could also do, like adding on to like the end of it, of like if you want to like have it land as like something that's really dirty, but then immediately follow up with something that like rips that person like out, like rips their brain right back out of the gutter. Is just like, and like an example that came to my head was just like, oh, I thought Indian men were supposed to like were liked spicy food, and you could say, but also like I asked my friend to check in with her gynecologist because like no vagina should be spicy. Or
like-
something like that.
Or
You know.
like, I knew she shouldn't have put the biryani down there or something.
Oh my God! Yes,
Oh, that's really funny. Yes.
you found it.
There you go.
And then that's it's that weird sex as opposed to like obviously that didn't happen.
Mhm.
So that's how you can clarify with people. So like if it does make it back to your dad, be like, Dad, obviously, I would never, never.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
That is. And it does. It takes all of, I think the worry of what you were talking about sort of removes that and sort of creates this absurdist thought next to it that, oh, that's absurd. It's not true. We hope it's not, because that would sound like it's really painful.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
I bet people have done worse, unfortunately. But yeah. Thank you for asking and like being willing to talk about these things, because that's important, and feeling safe to do that with us. Because
Amira, oh, sorry, Lisa.
go ahead, go.
I thought I was catching you at the end of a thought. I apologize.
You are. Go ahead.
Okay. Amira, I've been meaning to ask you, you shared a link to an article like months ago, and I had it up like as a tab on my thing for a long time. I started to read it, and then my computer restarted, and it was
From Gary Goldman?
I think so, where he like tweeted out like tips every single day
Okay, yeah.
here.
I can send it to you.
I would love for you to share it again because I could not remember the man's name.
Desiree joined us.
Woo!
I've
Okay.
enjoyed my time with Amira very much.
Let me
Thank
stop
you so
recording.
much.
And then I'll put the link.
Awesome. Thank you, Amira.
You're welcome.
Desiree, the only reason I'm not upset that you're a little tardy is because you're Canadian and you're just so nice, and I would never not want my Canadian friend here. Is she coming in? There you go. I see darkness. It's dark in Canada.
It's dark. We're gonna have dark comedy today.
There we go. Uncrustables. Hey. Hi. How are you doing?
Good. I think I'm having internet problems.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that, but we're thrilled that you're here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yay. So I'm gonna you ready to go? Are
Yep.
you ready? All right.
Yep.
'Cause it's you. Let's go. All right. Okay. So everyone put your hands together for the wonderful Canadian Uncrustable Desiree Walsh. Woohoo!
Hello. Hi. That's right. I am just a sandwich. I am from Canada and I am a sandwich. There's no joke there. It was my birthday recently.
Woo!
Yeah. And one of my favorite things to do on my birthday is reflect on what my parents were doing at my age. And so when my parents were my age, they had 2 kids, which wasn't really that impressive because I'm a twin. So it was like a 2-for-1 deal. But they had 2 kids, 2 cars, and a house, and full-time jobs with benefits. And I have something a little bit different. I don't own a house. I own something that is the equivalent to a pizza box under the Gardner. For those of you who may not know, the Gardner is a very large highway in Canada, and sometimes people live under it in Concord. And I am one of them. No. Yeah. And I don't have any kids, but I do have something similar. I have a Keurig coffee machine. Yes. And I have been told by many people who have kids, it's not the same, but I think it's the same. because I would be devastated if it ever went missing or broke. It makes a lot of noise. It's pretty messy sometimes. I often think about it throughout the day and wonder what it is doing at my house and hope it has done a load of laundry. It never has. It never has. Another thing I like to do on my birthday is call my mom because that's fun. I find aging really tough. And like when I turned 30, I called my mom. I was like, oh, I'm so sad because I'm 30. And it's very sad. I don't know why I sounded like a cartoon lizard, but I did. And so I called my mom, and my mom said, when I was 30, I think both of you had the flu and you threw up on me, and then your dad was passed out on the lawn. So I don't feel sorry for you there, like gets to sleep 8 hours vomit free and doesn't have to find her partner on the lawn. I'll work on that. That was a joke I wrote a long time ago that my second city teacher deemed a little dark. My dad is a recovering alcoholic, but for most of my childhood he drank. And it's funny. Yeah. My dad is actually pretty great. I recently went to see them, and he announced largely unprovoked, there are a lot of gay people at my work now. And I said, it's very interesting that so many people have told you their sexuality. Is there something I should know? And he said no, but that it wasn't so much that they were gay, it was that he couldn't tell their gender. And I said, why do you need to know your coworkers' genders? You work alone in a factory. And he said he didn't, but like, what if someone came up to him and they started talking? What would he do then? And I said, that's easy. Just ask their name and go from there. And he said that was fine, but what if he needed a pronoun, like a he or a she? What would he do then? And I said, that's easy. Just use they or them. And then my mom busted in like a Batman villain. And my mom's name is Karen, and she's exactly who you think would be a Karen. And she was like, actually, I think that's insulting. And I said, listen, Karen, we'll get back to your hate speech TED Talk later. Dad's job is on the line. So myself and my sister helped him find a compromise. We made him a sign that says, my daughters say I can't talk to you. It's for your own good and mine. Please find somebody else to help you. Have a nice day. Yep. I think I'm going to end it there. Thanks.
Woo, woo, give it up for Desiree Walsh. Yes. All right, Desiree. I guess I'll go first this time, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Get back into gallery view here. Hey, first of all, I love all the new stuff to me it was new, and you said you were working on it's older and you brought it back, but
yeah, I only do it about once a year on my birthday because that's the only time I can make it seem relevant. So if you had any suggestions on how to make it an all seasons joke, I would be open to it.
Nice. We think on that, but I always love that when you started, you're like, yes, that's what I am, a sandwich. And you took I just love that you took what I said and like brought it in the beginning of your beat and used it and made it funny. So thank you. I love that. I liked, what was I said? Nice premise. Interesting. I don't know. So the internet, like, I loved the whole premise of like, I like to call my family or think about what my parents were doing when they were my age. I loved that. So
Yeah.
I thought that was a really great premise, and it was wonderful that the whole segment and how you set that up. I do think the pizza box under the gardener, like, I'm glad you explained that. If you know you're going to be with a primarily American audience, you may just want to say highway, but I don't know, like, just because I feel like it deflates the joke a little bit if you have to explain it, the punchline.
Yeah.
So I would suggest like just saying, overpass or highway, something like that we'll understand if you know. But I do appreciate the education because I was like, what's a gardener? But it sounds really interesting. I was like, does she have a gardener? So it was, you kept me guessing, Desiree. No, I thought that I really loved that. Loved the caring thing. Oh man. And as a parent, I was like, I wrote down, I was like, I love I'll miss it if it were missing. Makes lots of noises. I'm thinking about it when I'm not there. And I'm always hoping it did a load of laundry and everything. Thought that was fantastic. So like was that newer? Is that a new one or is that
That is one of the jokes I do once a year on my birthday.
oh really? Because
Yeah.
I feel like you could incorporate that in other ways. I mean, we all love our Keurig, it's like we've got attached to the machines that have helped us through this pandemic or something. You know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
bring it in that way. Things I've gotten attached to that now I have to go back to work. So I think about this, like some people think about their kid. You could do that. I don't know. There's a way to bring that in because I thought it was so much fun. But yeah, and I like that you was the cartoon lizard thing planned or did you just add that?
I just added that because I did a funny voice.
Which I love. And I think that's a
was
strength
so
of yours
good.
that you're just like, I don't know why I sounded like a cartoon lizard. And I was like, that's right. You were exactly cartoon lizard. Like, we all pictured it once you said it. Does that make sense? So I thought that was great. The whole work on the parent thing and calling them. I think that the only thing that joke might need is a little bit of editing when the parents and calling them and I bet I have a feeling Rebecca might have suggestions because she's so good at that. But like editing that down and I think that's where it could land a little bit more if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just making more succinct and making it very like sort of a bullet pointed versus I got a little bit lost, not necessarily, but like, with going from your mom and your dad on the lawn or vomit, like I think it that way, that it will work and it could work year round possibly. I love that you brought back the Batman villain in a different way because I know you used to say that about your mom in a different conversation.
Yeah.
So I noted that. So thank you. And Dad, I really like the Dab's job is on the line. You've done that joke before, but I feel like with a sign and him about the genders and the pronouns, I liked it. That was my favorite time you've ever done it though. And so it landed really well. And maybe it was because it was further in the set or how it was set up.
Okay.
But I followed it the best I've ever followed it before, if that makes
That's
any
good.
sense. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was a lot of fun and happy birthday.
Thanks.
I think I Facebook messaged
You
after. I
did.
apologize and I said I hope you got an Uncrustable. So I love that. That's why I was very excited at your background tonight. So I was like, yay! All right, thank you.
Oh my gosh, Desiree, this was such a good set. It was so fun. And like I know that Lisa already like touched on it, but like the specificity of like the lizard and the Batman villain stuff, like that is like the level of specificity that like I like crave, and you did it so well. And it's just like little things where you're just setting it up and like it's like almost like it's not even the punchline, but you're just like setting it up in a funny way. And so I just wanted to celebrate those moments that you had just like sprinkled throughout your set. It was really fun. I don't know why your Second City, I mean, like, I'm not qualified. She said she co-hosts this open mic, but I don't know why your Second City like teacher said that your joke was too dark. I don't know, maybe it's because I also had like a dad with an addiction problem, but I'm just like, yeah, talk about it. But like I think that like you could I think you definitely could talk about your dad being like just like casually passed out on the lawn. Because, like that was parenting in the 80s. Wasn't it?
Yes,
That's
it
what
was.
dads did, right?
Yeah.
It's-
I think they still do in a lot of, especially during COVID.
Absolutely. And so like my suggestion with that joke is that I think that like when you're talking about what your mom is saying back to you, I think you could just tighten it down to maybe 2 lines, where like the first line that you had of like getting 8 hours of sleep like without any vomit was like the way that you phrased it was really funny, so keep that one the way it is.
Yeah.
I think that you could whittle down looking for your partner who's passed out on the lawn. I don't remember verbatim what you said, but I do remember it was a little bit long. And I thought
Yeah.
you could put it into like one of your very like specific, just an image of what he looked like. And I wrote down, your life partner isn't like out there looking like the ugliest yard decor ever or something like that, or
Oh,
calling him,
that's
like,
good.
a knocked over garden gnome or
Gnome,
something.
Yeah.
So something going with that.
I don't have to pretend like we meant for this to happen or something.
Right. So that was just my suggestion with maybe like tightening that up, but it's a great setup and it's a great structure of a joke. And I completely disagree with your Second City teacher that I think that it's not dark at all.
Yeah,
I
same
think
here. I
it's,
agree.
I think that everybody would be like, haha, been there. So I know that Lisa already touched on it, but I just kind of want to clarify. But I agree with what she said about I guess if you're talking to a primarily American audience, to maybe skip over the gardener thing, because I had this whole
Okay.
thing of like, I don't need to go into it, but also because it took me a second of like, oh, she's saying she's homeless.
Yeah,
living in-
yes. That was what I was going for, kind of.
Gotcha. And I think it was just because I was thinking, I'm like, what's a gardener? And then
Yeah.
I was focused on that, and then I had to catch up. So I just kind of want to ping that for you. But I'm sure that in Canada it would kill. So
Yeah.
I think that I loved your joke. I thought like this is my first time hearing your joke about your dad at the factory. I followed it really, really well. I thought it was super funny. I'm wondering if you can condense what your dad's sign says a little bit.
Okay.
I think it's really good. I love how specific it is. I'm wondering if you could maybe shave off like 5 words from it.
So maybe just don't talk to me.
That sounds a little, I mean, like, I still like my daughters say I can't talk to you. And
Yeah, maybe just that.
for your own, it's for our own good. Or,
Yeah,
and, you know, because like you gave the whole explanation leading up to it. So maybe you don't need the whole explanation on the sign. So I don't know, play around with that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I feel like just in terms of flow, condensing it might help it a little bit.
Okay.
This was a super, super strong set. Also, I want to point out, Amira put in the comments about like trying to figure out how to make this set relevant. She said, I have 12 birthdays a year. That way it's relevant every month. And I think that that's fantastic. I mean, lie.
Yeah.
If you wanted to lie, you could definitely lie. But yeah, great job. This was really, really fun. This is so fun. I loved your busting in like a Batman villain. It was so good.
Yeah.
So great job.
Yeah, everybody give it up for Desiree. Yeah. All right. So I think that's the two we had were amazing. Thank you so much to our comedians. So I'm gonna do our outro here. So a big thank you to my co-host Becca, to the comedians Desiree and Amira for being so open to feedback, and of course to our awesome audience. Again, if you want to support the stream, you can do so at districtcomedy.io. And if you want to be on the show, you can sign up using that same link. See you next week and have a